Hello, my name is David. I'm the Senior Solutions Engineer here with SuiteDynamics, and I'm here today to walk you through our NetSuite Manufacturing Planning Interface tool for the NetSuite platform. What the Manufacturing Planning Interface is meant to do within the NetSuite system is it's meant to be a true capacity planning tool. Now, this can be used in its most simplest form as an infinite capacity planner or a rough cut capacity planner. However, we can get as granular as a finite capacity planner, relying on things like skill matrices, machine constraints, all of those kinds of different details that we all know goes into the planning process. From our initial screen here, we're going to start off in our capacity summary view. This is going to give you a view of all of your different work centers within the system. It's going to give you a day-by-day view of how many hours, how many tasks, and what percentage utilization that workstation is at for any given day. And you can also see we do some color coding with this as well. So anything that's going to be over capacity, we're highlighting as red, just to give that easy visual indication that it's overconsumed. We have other varying colors for various utilization percentages. Again, just to help provide some easy visual feedback to what stations are at risk or overconsumed. From this main screen here, we can actually open any of these individual days just by double clicking on them. And we can see a distinct hourly grid. And this is a click and drag scheduling tool. So any of these tiles that you're seeing anywhere in this walkthrough, we can click and drag if and as required. Now, I can also click on any of these individual tiles, and I can get into more of a detail view modal. Now, all of the data that's presented on this is flexible. By default, we include a direct link to the work order. So you can open the NetSuite work order off to the side to do any kind of individual auditing that you need to do, while still keeping your planning interface open here on that other tab. We also include due dates if and as required, as well as location, customer relationship, all of those kinds of metrics. And then we also include the time estimates directly on here as well. Within this tile, we can also directly adjust which work center this individual task is being assigned to, and we can make any kind of granular time adjustments that we need to make through this tile as well. Moving into our calendar view, this is what we see a majority of our clients using most frequently once you get past looking at, where are your rough cut capacity constraints. This calendar view will show you in sequence everything that's planned for any given day. This is capable of handling both single day applications, as you can see here, as well as multi-day applications, which are going to be these thinner bars that have a indicator of how many days they're transversing on them. This is usually where I like to highlight our suite of filters. These are able to be used on really any view that you're using within this planning interface. We have the ability to limit the date range, filter down the work orders, filter down operations statuses, work centers, locations, shift management, all of that good stuff. So let's say, just for the sake of filtering this down here, I only want to view things that are in the quality work center. I'll go ahead and filter this down to quality. And then this is a view of what I have scheduled for the quality work center every day for the month of January in this case. Now, if this is still too much information, I can come up here, swap my current month to one of my preset options, or just enter a custom range here. So I could filter this down to just viewing the current week, or I could actually come in here and enter in a custom range. So it's currently showing me the 11th to the 17th. Let's say I want to back this up a week. I can pop this open, select the 4th, and that will now give me the past 2 weeks. We have similar filtering for looking at our different work orders, our different operation statuses, locations. And we have some additional flexibility around what filters are present up in that top bar there as well, if there's other data points that the business needs to capture. We also have the ability here to add in any downtime we may need to add in. This solution does interact with all of the native NetSuite records that are being generated through the manufacturing process. So we have the ability to capture downtime events directly from the MES or manufacturing mobile feedback. We have the ability to capture PTO events for staff scheduling. And we also have the ability of capturing planned maintenance up front from the fixed asset module. That being said, we can also add downtime manually if we know there's going to be a downtime event, or if we know based on our diagnosis of a machine breakage that it's going to be out for an extended period of time. We can just hit this add downtime block button, select our work center, select our reason, add in a start date, add in a duration, and then make any kind of notes we need to make on here. We have a couple other different pivots we can filter all of this data through. We can roll everything up by individual work order. And again, all of our filtering works in any of these views. So if I wanted to filter down to a specific work order, in this case 561, I can do so. When I open this dropdown, it will show me on that calendar grid view where all of my tasks for that specific work order are sitting. And one other piece to mention here. This system is built with planning in mind. So as you can see, I have 3 routing steps for my work order 561. I can go ahead and click and drag and move these around the calendar. So the first thing I want to highlight is as I click and drag this, you'll notice up in the corner up here that we have an unsaved change. This is meant to be a true planning tool. So as you move things around, make changes, make optimizations, do what you need to do with your schedule, the system is writing all of these to a payload, which will not actually go back and update the production schedules within the ERP itself until you hit the commit changes button. So you can do any kind of scenario movement that you need to do prior to committing your schedule back to the database and releasing it out to the manufacturing floor. The other piece of this I want to mention is that you saw me move this metal saw operation over to the 15th. I can go ahead and drag that back. Now, if I try to move my extrusion, it's going to bring the entire stack. And you'll actually notice up in the top right, it does note that it moved the full stack because heat treat and metal saw are dependent on extrusion happening first. So by default, we're going to move those to the next day that those respective work centers have capacity available. And so we are always respecting dependencies whenever we're moving things around in our planning interface here. The other view I want to cover in our overview demo video here is going to be the Work Center task view. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and take off my work order filter here. I'm going to shift over to my Work Center task view. This is going to show us all of our work centers that we have active in the system. But then it's additionally going to give us insight into what we have active at each individual work center. This is a demo environment, so I only have the one active here. But you could see, again, we are linking directly back to the work order itself. We are populating the due date as well as the customer that this is going to if and as required. And we're also capturing some high-level KPIs here. So our actual hours versus our expected hours, any open quality issues, any part shortages, how many hours are remaining, all of those kinds of details. So this gives anyone in a production management capacity a good real-time view of where all of your tasks are And these are updated as you get results in from your manufacturing management system, however you choose to capture data within the ERP itself. The last piece I wanted to cover as part of our overview demo here was our ability to capture any kind of profile changes, whether that's machine changes or staff changes that are required on any given operation. So we have gone back to our calendar view at this point. You'll also notice that I've set a custom range just to make sure I'm including the correct data set in here. And as we go down to our calendar view, we can see that each of these operations is being assigned a profile. So that profile can be determined based on dimensions, based on machine capacity, machine throughput, worker skill sets or skill matrices, anything along those lines. But once we have those profiles evaluated and tagged to those individual operation tasks, our planning system is then interpreting if and when we have those profile changes. And when we have those profile changes, we are inserting profile change times, right? So this is going to be your machine reconfiguration, your downtime before you have the opportunity to switch staff, anything that's going to, require spacing between these events from a planning standpoint. We can also optimize against these profile changes. So if I come up here and hit optimize by profile, we could see that we've now condensed down our different manufacturing operations as to minimize our profile change times here. So with our optimizations, both options, whether you're using profile change times and going with the optimize by profile, or if you're optimizing the schedule, which does not take into account those profile changes, both of these run off of greedy uh, allocation algorithms, which means that taking into account your different dependencies, whether that's individual routing steps or parent-child work orders, these are going to be condensed down into most efficient work center to run them through, prioritizing keeping that utilization high on the soonest timeline possible. Now, both calculating the capacity of that work center as well as what the most optimal time for that to be scheduled is where we typically do see the adjustments within the dashboard. And so this is a solution that's architected with those variances in mind. If and as there is a requirement for a follow-on demo of this software, feel free to contact our team. Thank you for viewing this video today, and I hope to speak with you and your team soon.